All right, just bear with me for 1 second. Just give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna start off with saying Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And excuse me if I sound a little bit of muffled, may I say. I have the phone in a bag at the moment because it's actually snowing over here. But I put it in the bag to protect the phone from the moisture, and it actually works. But anyway, going into the title of the video, come out of her, my people, which of course that's quoting, Revelation, the 18th chapter, the 4th verse, which says, "What? Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Now, the her is talking about the United States of America, right? Babylon the Great. Right, so what does it mean by coming out of America? Because you got some guys teaching that it means that you're supposed to hop on a plane and go over to Israel, or to another country, that's not America. You got countries, have camps out there, like I believe the GOCC. Now they're teaching that you gotta hop on the plane and you gotta fly back to Israel, in order to be delivered, some type of madness like that. Okay, but that's not what it's talking about. It's not saying that you gotta go to these other countries in order to be delivered. That's not what it's talking about. When it says to come out, it's talking about separating yourself from the mindset. That's simply what it means, is you got to separate yourself from the mindset that we're under, right? Because that's all you have saying out there. Was it raised in the West, they don't know what's best, right? Raised in the West and they don't know what's best. But that's true, man. Is those Eastern countries, or as Larkin Rose will call them, crunchies, they're a lot of them are practicing things, the good old ways. Now that's why, if you go over there and you commit a crime, you'll get punished the old-fashioned way. If you rob somebody, they'll take your fingers off, or you lose your hand. If you murder someone, you get killed. If a woman commits adultery, or she sleeps with another man that's not her husband, she'll be put to death for doing so. Like places over like Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and places like that, they still follow things the old way. Compared with over here, in the West, specifically speaking of Babylon the Great, America, this is the new world. Right? Things are not done the same way over here. Why? Because this is that brave new world. Right? That's why when his character, Christopher Columbus, right, when he came over here, they referred to this place now as the New World. Why? Because this place was going to be diverse and different from the societies and kingdoms that came before it. But that's why, for an example, the other countries before America, they used kings and queens to rule over the people. But when America came around, instead of doing that, they have elections where the people get to choose what person they want to rule over them for a period of time. Then when those years are finished, they have a whole nother group of people that the people can pick from, right? And that's how they also did things back in the ancient Roman Empire, right? But America is the modern day Roman Empire, and that's where guys get all mixed up. Like, I'll give an example. Like this character, I was talking to this guy, Primal Man, and he was saying that, the fourth beast is Rome, which I agree with him on that. But then he was like, well, wait a second, though. How could America, Babylon, if the fourth beast was Rome, and the fourth beast would be in rulership, when the Lord returns? Oh, it might not have been Primal Man who said that. It must have been those tried and refined, because they were trying to use that to prove that that the Vatican City was Babylon the Great. Because they were trying to say, oh, if you agree, the fourth beast is the Roman Empire, well, you must agree. That means that Rome is Babylon then. And the misconception comes in because they don't understand that that America is the new Rome. Right? This is Rome 2.0. That's what America is. That's why when you read in the scriptures, it talks about in Revelation 17, it goes into the history that the angel's breaking it down to John, and he mentioned that the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and he's of the seven. Right, so the beast that was the Roman Empire, but then they were not, because they went down, but then they came back again. And how'd they come back again? They came back again as America, which is what the new Roman Empire. Even though they call it by a different name, it don't change the fact that this is Rome. And one easy way to prove that is by looking at the political system, because the political system of America goes back to ancient Rome, right? Because in ancient Rome, they had the Flavians and the patricians. Just like today, you have the Democrats and the Republicans. Excuse my stutter. They're Democrats and Republicans. Okay, so they got that system of government. They got that from the ancient Roman Empire. Okay, so America is modern day Rome. Okay, so that cuts these characters saying that that Rome is Babylon. They err at not knowing the scriptures. No, and that's all it comes back to at the end of the day. You don't gotta, you don't have to make 900 videos about it. You can break it down in like 3 or 4 minutes. But you know how guys are, man. They want to always make things more difficult than what they have to be. You know what I'm saying? It's sad to have to be that way, of course. But that's just how these characters work. They make things more difficult than what they actually have to be. But anyway, going back to the title, what it means coming out of her is it simply means that you gotta put off the philosophy that you learned here. Okay, because as I was explaining earlier, the way that this place operates is perverse to the scriptures. So you gotta separate your mind from what you were taught over here in Babylon. I'll give you an example. Over here, it's a weird thing if a man's, trying to deal with 2 women at a time, right? Over here, if you're, married with a woman, and you're dealing with another woman on the side, you gotta, duck and dodge to make sure your wife doesn't find your messages on your phone. Because if she does, and you're so-called, legally married with her, that she can divorce you and take half of what you own. She finds out you're dealing with another woman on the side. They call that cheating over here in Babylon. But that we know that's not true, because according to the scriptures, a man can have multiple wives, according to the scriptures. All right, so we're not saying that you should be going around dealing with multiple women today. We're not saying that that's something you should be doing, but you're not going off if you are doing that. Hell, Paul said in what is that? 1 Corinthians chapter. Paul said, "Hey, look, it's a good thing for a man to not touch a woman." Right. So what Paul was saying is it's a good thing, and he was giving his advice there. He was saying it's a good thing if a man is single. Right. That's what Paul was saying. That's not a commandment of the Most High, of course, but he was just saying that it might be more beneficial, for you to be single. And hell, that was back then. But imagine in the time we're in now, man. Right, the time of the end. Right, the time of all these prophecies, being fulfilled. Right, that's the time that we're in. Right, if these prophecies are popping off, man. And we can't say that enough. You cannot say that enough, man. It's crazy what the hell is going on. Not just in America, but in the world itself. Right, because when Christ gave the signs to look out for, he said that they would be taking place all over the world, is what he was saying. Right, that you would see these things all over. So you'll be able to tell the time that you're in. That's why we have right now, 2022, we have all these earthquakes, uproars of the people, right, all these rumors of wars, all these volcanic eruptions, all these things are taking place right now. Why? Because we're in the time, as Elder Apostle Dahor said, which of course, much respect to the Elder Apostle, but as he said, 2022 is the year of the turnip. Right, this is the year of the turnip, man. Right, Dahor likes to name each year. Like, I believe 2018 was the year of prophecy. Might have been 2020, but then 2021 was the year of hastening unto the day of the coming of Yahushua. But then this year, 2022, is the year of the turnip. Right, and that's a damn good name, man. That's what we're seeing, right? These things are kicking up, man. But these things ain't slowing down, man. Right, these pains, as the scriptures call them, birth pains. Right, they're called birth pains in the scriptures. Right, so these birth pains are not going to slow down. They're going to increase and get worse until it's clear even to the atheists and the unbelievers that things ain't going to get better if it hasn't already been made clear enough. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. So we don't got to make this too long. But, at the end of the day, man, we're trying to separate ourselves, from this modern day, philosophy. Even though we had to physically be here, we're not as these people. That's why Christ said, or I should say Yahushua, but by reading at face value, I'll say Christ. And that's why Christ said, that, if the world hates you, know that it first hated me. Right? And the world hates you because I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hates you and he loves his own. Right? That's why we're the ones that are rejected, man. And that's the way it got to be. Now, you can't be a friend of the Most High and a friend of the world. That's why the scriptures say you can only serve one master. You can't serve two. You can't serve, Yahweh and serve money at the same time. Right? You can't do that. All right? You can't be trying to, be in this truth, right? Be in the know, and then also be somebody on the side, because you have to sell out, or you have to sell out in order to make it in this society, man. That's why these celebrities, they'll admit in their music videos and in their interviews, majority of them will confess that they sold their soul to the devil. Which let me correct that real quick, because nobody can really sell their soul, right? Because all spirits belong unto the Most High. So in all factuality, you cannot sell your soul. But what they can do is basically like, pledge their allegiance, to Satan, right? That they denounce, the Christ. That's what they can do, which of course is the wrong decision to make. But that's what they mean when they say that they, sold their soul. That's basically what they're trying to say. If they pledged their allegiance to Satan, they sold out for fame and for fortune. Bear with me a second. And I mean, hell, man, the time we're in right now, anybody thinking about doing that, man, you better check yourself, right? Because these prophecies are clearly popping off the page, man, and nobody can deny that at this point. You can't tell me that everything we're seeing in the year 2022, and the year just got started. We're just in the first month of the year, which we're about to come into the second month. But you can't tell me this isn't in the scriptures, everything going on right now. It clearly is. Anyone that disagrees, well, then you don't know the scriptures. Now, that's what it comes back to. There's only, at the end of the day, there's only one truth. There's not 5 truths, there's only one truth. So anybody who's not teaching that one truth is teaching a lie then. I'll give you an example. Anyone teaching that Christ came to save everybody, well then guess what? Then they're teaching a lie then. That's not in the scriptures. Where the hell does it say that Christ came to save everyone? I've never read that before in the scriptures. Christ said he only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So where the hell does it say that Christ came to save everybody? So anybody teaching that, they're in error of not knowing the scriptures. So that's what it comes back to at the end of the day. Right, so going back to the main verse of the video, by coming out of her, meaning what? Separating ourselves from the mindset that we were raised over here, with, right? Believing, that a real man, would only want one woman. That's a damn lie. In this society, man, we're taught that, men and women are equal. That's a bullshit too. That's a bullshit. That's not in the scriptures. Scriptures clearly teach. First of all, the scriptures tell you that it's not permitted unto a woman to even speak in a church. Which, what is a church? A church just means a assembly of believers, right? Not a church building. But even for these Christians that go to the church building, scriptures say a woman's not even permitted to speak in the church. All right, so that just shows you, off of that alone, what the Most High has to say, about women. And that doesn't mean a woman's just supposed to be, disrespected and whatnot. We're not saying that, right? And that's not what the scriptures are saying. But it simply says that a woman's not permitted to speak in the church. That's what it says. Now, if one wants to subscribe to that, then you do. And if you don't, well, then you don't agree with the scriptures. That's simple, as I said. There's many lies, but there is one truth. So anyone who's not teaching that one truth, I then guess what then? And you're teaching a lie. It's that simple. Okay, the truth is not, multiple different things. There is one truth. There are many lies, but there is one truth. Right? There are many lies, but there is one truth. So anyone who is not teaching that one truth, well then guess what? And you're teaching a lie then. All right, and anybody who ain't teaching correctly, well, hey, look, if you don't get right, the Lord's going to deal with you. The Lord's going to, as scriptures say that, the slain of the Lord shall be many, from one end of the earth to the other, when the Lord returns. So everyone that don't get right, hey, well, you're going to get counted in there, man. That's not what I'm saying. That's what the scriptures say. So if you don't like what I'm saying, well, hey, you can kick bricks. I'm just saying that. I'm just reading the scriptures. So that's why Christ said, that, if they're offended, if they hate you, it's not you that they're hating, but rather it's the message that you're giving, right? So they're really hating the Most High and not us if they don't, agree with the message we're bringing out. But the message we're bringing is not the same that you're told at Sunday, church service. They're out there teaching you, oh, well, just give to the church. The Lord will bless you. But you'll know that you're getting closer to the Lord, if you increase in, in wealth. And that's not in the Bible. Where's that in the scriptures? The scriptures tell you that the closer you get to being a son of the Most High, you're going to have to go through some things. That doesn't mean that no rich man's going to make it to the kingdom, because some will. Right? Some wealthy people can make it. That's true. But the majority of us are going to come from, a poor background, for lack of better words. And that's the challenge, right? That's the challenge that's set before you. But you got to go through a path of difficulty in order to make it to the kingdom. And that's just the way it is. That's just, hey, you can't change the program. Now, hey, look, this is the most highest program, and we can't change that. Now, that's what it comes back to at the end of the day. Bear with me for a second. Anyway, I just wanted to give a couple spiritual thoughts. That was just a subject I was thinking about talking about for a few minutes. I hope that video was edifying. And I'm going to end off giving all praise to Yahweh, the Son Yahweh Shai, and I'm going to say shalom.